Hi
Ooh,
everyone.
what's up? What
How's
is
everybody doing today?
is going on? How you feeling? How you doing? What's up, young fella?
I'm doing good. I
Good, it's good to
recovered
see
from
you.
this weekend. Thank God.
Ooh, what a
A
weekend! What a
long
weekend! What a
weekend.
weekend! Shout
It
out to
was
Coffee
long. It
Food.
was
What up,
fun.
young lady? Prepper 101, AK Lover. What it do?
Hi, Jason
And
and Shanna.
twin in the building.
Hi,
Oh
Prepper.
man, Lawrence Lilly. What up? What up, Willie? What's crack-a-lacking? Good to see y'all, man. After this long weekend, boy, let me tell you,
It was
New York,
long.
New York. Rodney Brady in the building. What's popping, badass Stang, my brother? What's going on? There go my real brother.
Oh,
OJ, what's going
Jay.
on, big brother?
Thank you, Uncle OJ.
Yeah, I know you didn't just say regular OJ. You gotta say Uncle OJ.
I said Uncle OJ.
Not you, the little guy.
Oh,
No, I
this
said Uncle OJ.
he
I said,
did.
yeah, I
I
said, what's
was just
good,
making
Uncle
sure.
OJ?
Hey, Card 91, what is going on, brother?
2A in LA. What's
That's the
good?
fan. What
Right.
up?
Fam.
What's popping? What's popping? Nola Saint, what's the word now? Oh man. Oh, I gotta get with 2A in LA. He done pulled out that big joker, boy. That nice Taurus about to drop. Mm, mm,
Mm.
mm, mm.
Oh, look at Diego and Mr.
Diego,
Big.
what up? Wobbin Star. Man, Diego right over there in the mix of things, man. Whoo. London boy. What's going on over across the seas and on the other side of
Right.
the pond? Mr. Biggs, what up, soul brother? What's going on, everybody? Hey, it was a wonderful weekend. Not a
Mm-hmm.
bad one. Not a bad one at all. You had a good time?
Yeah, we was so if anybody knows, my family had flew in and surprised me for my birthday.
I thought you were going to say the number.
I
Joseph
was.
Harris.
I'm not
What's up, young
ashamed.
fella? That's
I'm
my
I'm a
biker brother.
sexy 40-year-old. I'm sexy and I'm 40.
True that.
You see
Okay.
that? So
Ah,
we got an
Diego
echo.
celebrating a new job. That's
Sorry.
dope. That's
I
dope.
think it's Billy. Billy, I think you're echoing.
Let me try. Let me hold on. Go ahead, keep talking, and I'm muting myself, and then see if it's still
Oh,
echoing.
okay. So my family flew in for my big 40th. We went to St. Augustine and we walked around. We did a little bit of shopping. What else? We went to Jacksonville. We went down to the what was that? A river, a lake?
Oh
What
yeah,
the
it was an
Oh,
ocean.
the River Walk, St.
river
John's
walk?
River. Yeah, that was dope.
Mm-hmm.
See a big old battleship. Got to see the stadium where the Jaguars play. It was crazy.
Right.
Nice little something.
Um,
Nice little something. I missed somebody though. Who that? Coy popped in here. Brian Bridges. Coy and Brian Bridges. What up, bro?
hey, Siege.
Oh, CG Siege. Hey,
Yes.
shout out to Siege. She's working on something for you, Siege. She was
Yes, I
all in
am.
the weekend trying to get things right for you. She got you.
Got
Yeah,
some
man. So yeah, man,
questions.
we had a good time. And we so anybody who hasn't heard about this surprise, I went
Wait.
about a month coordinating with Erica's mom and dad about how we're gonna get them down here without Erica knowing. So me being the uh, wonderful husband that I am, had to lie for a month to my wife, and y'all know I don't lie to my wife about nothing, nothing.
I can't believe you hold it in for a whole month.
I know
I
it was
can
difficult.
barely do it for a week.
I know it was difficult. Am I still echoing? Or am I good?
I
Sound
didn't
good.
hear it. Coy said there was an echo, so I just went
All
by
right.
what Coy said.
I think you're
Yeah,
good
yeah.
now.
So yeah, man, it was cool, man. And her younger sister also came. Her younger sister's gonna be 16 shortly. So she was able to
15.
catch it on video.
15. She'll be 15 on the 3rd,
She'll
on
be
November
15.
3rd. She'll
Oh,
be
my,
15 on November 3rd.
all right. No, OJ said no echo. I'm good. Miss V, what up, girl?
I miss V.
Yeah, man. So either way, man, we were in the hotel. Yo, man, this was the most difficult. Now, that guy with guns told me to leave the hotel, leave them in the hotel room, and don't say a word. Just leave. Get up and take the keys and leave. And I was like, bro, nah, that's dangerous. Erica, she a little more gangster than that. So he said, nah.
Right.
Vons Martin, what up? So I did it. I was like, babe, I'll be right back. And she's like, where are you going? I was like, I'm just going to the store. She's like, all right, well then get this, get that. And she's like, well, I'm not coming. I was like, nah, babe, just chill. Like, just give me some space. And either way, man, we were about 6 minutes from the airport. We were on airport property at the hotel we stayed at. So I ran down, caught them right away. Boom, got back. What was it, like 12 minutes or something? Maybe 15.
It was, yeah, I couldn't believe you was back from the store already. And then I was upset because you didn't have no bags. And I'm like, what did you do? Where did
Yeah, I
you
didn't
go?
buy nothing. I never went to Dollar Store. But Devil Roll, what up, soul brother? What's going on? So either way, I got them back, put them in the lobby. Told Erica I had a problem in the lobby. She shows up, and then her
With a
parents come out
whole
of the back room,
attitude.
and surprise, there it is. Happy birthday, sweetie.
Thank you. You're so wonderful.
Oh,
You're
you deserve
wonderful.
it. You
Alex
deserve
was
it.
surprised also.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
grandpa,
thing
grandpa.
is, I can't believe you hold it in for a whole month. That's what's it just amazes me.
Yeah, right. Because
You
I ain't good with
hold it in for
secrets.
a whole month.
I ain't good with secrets, but that's all right. We had a good time, man, and we drove around and went to where we go to St. Augustine. Walked around the whole historic area, the fort, the Spanish fort there. That's dope. Y'all got to check it out one day. You really, really, it's a real thing. Like I think that's the first military fort that I've ever actually physically been to, and walking
Right.
around, seeing the moat, the bridge, all that, the cannons, the actual cannons. They're not like the cannons that you see at the beach. Like these are for real functional
Right.
cannons. It was
Right.
crazy, the little shopping area downtown, man. If anybody's in that area or makes their way down to Jacksonville, make sure that you stop in. Don't pay for none of those ghost tours or nothing like that. Just go explore with the family, man, and have a good
But for
time.
Water One, she is gonna beat you one day with that mop and bucket.
Damn. I can see the wife and the mother-in-law jumping on it.
Right.
Yo, know what they had though? Ooh, you know what they had? That was one of my favorite things ever because I used to get it in Disney World when we used to visit.
Oh yeah.
Dole Whip.
That
Ooh,
Dole Whip.
Dole Whip. If anybody's familiar with Dole Whip, it's like pineapple ice cream with pineapple juice. Oh, and I'm
But
allergic to
see,
pineapple.
the one I got had the pina colada. The ice pop that was in it was a
Oh yeah,
pina
yeah.
colada.
Ah, that's why she
I
gave
got
me a
pink
bite. She gave me a bite. But
I did. It was good though.
yeah, man. But yeah, man, we had a blast. No shooting though. Man, I just had to say that. Actually, those words came out of my mouth, and it hurt to
Yeah,
say it. I didn't
we
shoot
did
a
not
gun.
go to the range this weekend. Did not.
That's so unlike me. And I looked. Because I was gonna sneak your father out in the morning time. I
He
swear,
would have
yeah.
went too.
I
He would
looked.
have enjoyed it.
Yeah. Shannon says they got Dole Whip where she goes.
What?
Yeah, Dole Whip
Shannon, that's
plantation.
the first time I tried it was in Hawaii. And I was in love with it.
OG $2. Nah, Disney is the spot that I used to love it. I used to get it. Give me about
Right.
4. Give me about 4 or 5. Tap in. What it do, youngster? Yeah, man, it's good to see you. It's good to see you. But yeah, man, we had a good time. It was cool. Like I said, no shooting, no shooting. But I mean, oh man. So when you go from Georgia to Florida, you got to carry a little different,
Right.
and it's awkward when you carry in Georgia. Say if you're at work or you're just going to familiar places, whatever, you feel a little comfortable. But when you carry in a different state and you're worried about how they look at you, while you carry, if I don't know if printing is a bad thing or whatever, but you have to conceal carry in Florida. I'm on the beach with a plus 3 base plate on fucking Arex Delta. I knew everybody could see, but that's all right, man. As long as I was abiding by the rules and the playbook.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was like, leave it up. No, leave it up. No. I just rolled my little pant legs up and smashed around a little bit, but it was cool. We had fun. It was good, and we got Alex to the beach. Alex loves the beach.
Yep.
Yeah.
He got to go swimming.
Oh, I I'm not wearing it, but I bought a necklace that was a turtle. That was
Turtle.
got at St. Ice.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we got a few things.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jay, what up? What is going on? It's good to see you. Good to see you. But yeah, man, we had a blast. It was a good time. 100%. What was your favorite part, Al?
Oh,
The beach.
oh,
Yeah.
I knew he was gonna say that.
Actually,
He
no.
got to go swimming. That was his. He kept asking for the days that we there.
I touched the snake. I think that was my second favorite part. Touching a snake.
Yo, all right.
Oh,
So we're downtown, right? We're in the middle of St. Augustine. And there's this booth that you could take a picture with a snake. And it was like maybe 7, 8 large snakes. And there was a little bit of a line, probably about 6 people. And the snakes are on the thing. So we go over to see how much it is to take a picture with the snake. Do you know the lady said the guy will be right back?
he left all them snakes unattended.
He'll be right back. Who the fuck dealing with these damn snakes? I was like, let's go, Al. Peace. I'm gone. He'll be right back. Come get these motherfuckers talking about he'll be right back.
But you had a snake when you was younger. That's why I didn't understand.
I've had over 40 snakes and an
Yeah,
alligator.
but why was you acting scared with those
Because
unattended
Because he
snakes?
hates snakes.
all right,
And
when
then
you
why?
poor and broke, when you were younger, you strive your best not to be poor and broke when you grow up. And I had all that snake shit in my house and all that. And I learned my lesson. I don't want nothing to do with no snakes. If they can't smile, that's why I don't fuck with birds. If they can't
If they
smile,
can't smile.
no, if they can't smile, I don't want them around me. I don't trust them. Not a
I
single.
know a few people that don't smile. I guess I shouldn't trust
Keep
them.
those,
Huh?
keep those people away from me too. Hot tub, what up, my brother? Our Mel was popping.
Remember when
Yeah,
he
man,
used
I
to
don't
have,
mess with
well, he still does have the fear of birds.
Mm-hmm.
But like every time he'll be here, or I have the fear of birds as well. But a bird will be up here and we'll be here, and it will just dock. Oh, those are good times. Good times.
You can go to places like in different amusement parks and all that, and they'll have like bird sanctuaries that you have to walk through, and you're supposed to buy
Like Busch Garden.
sugar
Like
water.
Busch
Yeah.
Garden. What else?
And you-
Six Flags has it, or they have the butterfly one. You
I'm
still
cool
don't
with
even like
butterflies.
going inside the butterfly one.
I'm cool with butterflies, but either way, the birds you're supposed to hold like some sugar water so the birds can land on your ass and you feed them. No, sir.
I don't
Nope,
like
nope,
that.
nope.
Not sugar water. It's
Yo,
just
twin,
seeds.
what up, twin CG?
Plus, they're like chickens. They just peck you. Terrifying.
I'm so
Yeah. I don't mess with them.
you know,
Box, what
Bill,
up,
you are
big
so
box?
you so different.
Who?
You're different from when we first started
It's a lot
Yo,
of
she
to
says this to
now.
me all the
You're,
time,
you're
y'all.
totally different.
She says this to me all the time. I used to be more gangster, right?
Yeah, you was like this
What?
on motorcycle and whatever. Now it's like, oh, look at this beautiful flower blossom. And I'm like,
Look at that
who are
tree.
you?
Leave me alone.
Yeah. Look at the way the tree just hangs over.
Leave me alone. Yo, because all week we were like, yeah, look at the trees. And we're explaining these Spanish moss and all that. Whatever. Whatever, y'all. Real deal. What's going
But
on,
you know
cousin?
what? I noticed that about my dad this weekend. My dad was into the flowers, all
Oh,
and I'm like, who is this guy?
yeah, man.
This
Yeah,
guy
older.
running around in his,
What I'm supposed to do?
running around and
Yeah,
tackling people
cool
to
ass
be
little
like, oh,
challenge.
look, yeah,
That don't work, man. It's cool. Joe Vibe, what up? Yeah, man. But yeah, just appreciate life. You get to a certain age, you start appreciating life. You just hit that milestone.
listen, the
Uh-huh.
40s is the new 20s.
No, it ain't.
Yeah. Tell your doctor that. He gonna give you something that have your ass acting like a 20. As soon as you sit down, your ass back acting like a 40. Mm-mm-mm.
Right, hot tub, you right.
Oh, everybody think I done came from a whole different life. Yo,
I
one day
are J ladies.
they got me. They be like, Billy, you be driving boats, you be flying airplanes, you be doing this, doing that. What the fuck is your history about? Like, man, just living, man. Just
We just,
regular.
yeah, we like to do different things. When we go on
That's
vacation,
it.
we do try to find different things to
Yeah,
do. We do.
yeah. I like experiencing life when I'm 11 years old.
Yeah, you
I
for
got to
11
drive
year
a
old,
boat.
you do a lot for 11-year-old.
I do. I got to
Yeah,
drive a boat this one time
you
at
gotta appreciate
Crab
these things.
Island.
Yeah. That was
Mhm.
good, man. Yeah. But
Right.
yeah, that's the things you gotta appreciate, because honestly, the topic of the night, man, is us taking those things for granted, man. Being able
Right.
to have these freedoms to move about in life and experience shit and all that, and right across the other side of that TV screen, there's some people losing that ability, man.
Everything. Just
I figured, man.
everything.
Yeah. Look, OJ say Captain Alex. OJ was on that boat.
Oh
OJ
yeah.
Oh
didn't
yeah.
actually know I was driving that boat. OJ was on the boat with us, and oh, everybody was getting wet. Oh man, terrible, terrible. Yeah, in them streets, Tony, in them streets. But yeah, man. Back to that, man. There's a lot of things changing for normal life for a lot of people and friends and family in these areas that never thought it would be. You know what I'm saying? You take it for
Right.
granted the simplicity of stuff, and man, that shit could be snatched right up. Snatched right up. Yo, tap in. I hear you. He grew up on quads and dirt bikes, but I got this fear. Yo, my entire
Yeah.
family is all bikers. Moms too, all bikers. And then Erica's always asking, I think it's time. I'm like, I can't do it. I can't put him on it.
Billy, it's been time. You've been doing it. He's been
And
wanting to listen. I'd rather you. Sorry, my
see,
light went
see
off.
that light cutting off? That was God saying, man spoke, let him speak, and be done with it. So things are going crazy over in Ukraine right now, y'all.
Uh-oh.
Things are going nuts.
Oh
And
my wait.
I sat back to think about, the simplicity of things that has changed for a lot of people. A lot of times when you hear of war time going on in different countries and all, you you don't realize that it's in these central areas, in these cities where normal people are going to work, they're going to lunch with friends, kids are in daycare, kids are in parks playing around, and all of a sudden, I'm realizing that that's not a safety net, especially for certain world leaders. It's damn sure not a safety net for a lot of people. Um, they're not caring right now, and you can call it war games or terrorism, however you cut it. It's damn sure um, crossing the line at
Right.
this, in my opinion.
Right.
Um, let me copy this thing. I'm gonna drop this link out there so anybody who has some insight on what we're talking about, feel free to pop in and hang out and chop it up with us. Ghetto, what up there, soldier? But yeah, man, things are really getting intense, and um, it's not staying within the parameters of what people consider war rules or war law or world law, and people are dying. Regular ass citizens that had a dinner with a family that said, "Shit, I got to get up and go to work." That said, "What are we having for lunch?" And all of a sudden, a fucking missile hits your building. It's
Right.
and you could swear like war is going on all around you, but you don't think that's going to be like infrastructure war, like
Right.
military bases and electrical supply lines and all that shit. Nah, they're going for cities right now. They're going for civilians right now, and it's going to be a rough go. I swear to y'all, it is. Ramsey, what up, soul brother?
I think it's a rough go for everybody, even for us. And then some people are still like, just because it's happening over there doesn't mean that it affects us, but it does. It affects us on oil, it affects us on food. It affects everybody, and everybody
Mhm.
needs to pay attention to it and take it very, very serious.
Yeah, 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 man. It's a serious ordeal, and it's it's something that could be in our backyard before you know it.
Oh yeah,
And Americans, we're big headed about certain things, and we often feel like, nah, we watch that shit from afar. That shit don't come to our door. It don't hit our soil. And we have a
right,
wonderful, military that prevents by all costs anything that can be done. Um, but I'm sure that the people of these smaller countries, um, Ukraine, etc., that ass, we'll see you now. Um, who would have thought? I'm sure they didn't, and they've been going through wartime for a while. You kind of get complacent and used to things, but you wonder if anybody's going to step over that line, if anybody's going to cross that line, and
right.
shit happened. And I think it was an ego ordeal. Now, here's the wild part. Not to start an argument or nothing like that. I'll keep dropping the link. So if anybody does have a reply to what I'm
And
saying,
right.
I understand what they're trying to do. I understand what Putin is trying to do,
What's he
and
trying to do?
he's trying to secure every border that he can that leads to Russia. So every out and every in, every stronghold that he can. I get that.
Okay.
If Russia had a good relationship with Canada and said we're going to start putting military strongholds on the Canadian border to America, we'd be like, hell no. We're gonna have to take that over, so you don't take that over. So I get that. I understand that mentality in a sense to
Okay.
secure yourself, but at the same time, I think that there's a different mindset and a different responsibility, or they grow up in a different way of life. So Putin was like KGB, so his thought process is completely wild. So he'll do anything to secure his strength, his power, And shit, man, a lot of people getting hurt over it,
Right. Siege, I
So
agree with you. I agree with you. All these wars or back and forth with thing, and all these people are dying, and they don't broadcast it. They don't really tell us the true numbers of who's being hurt.
yeah, yeah, that's a history. History is written by the winner. You know what I'm saying?
That's
So
true.
that's
That is true.
but either way, man, yeah, it's some wild stuff going on that I see over there. Um, so now here's where I understand that shit. We should take a lesson. We should learn from what we're seeing, and within this group, within this community, within this family, there's a lot to be learned. A lot of shit that we, between preparing yourself, um, canning, saving, preserving, firearms, hoarding, whatever we can do, it's all in this group. It depends on you to pick up what, part of that is interesting to you. But realize that there's a lot of ways out. There's a lot of questions that you can ask in this community. Drew Hill, what up? So it's like when you see this going on in these normal cities, and understand that there's nothing that you can do to prevent a person from pressing a button and changing your whole life. There's a lot of shit that that you could prepare for to make it easier. No, so my first thought is when yeah, that's all right. That's all right. Go do that. Tell them I said what's up. Give them big hugs. Southern Belle, what up, girl? So my first thought is the immediate effects if something does go down. And generally we talk about weather, etc. But this might be a different scenario. The mass hysteria and the disconnect that you're gonna have with cell towers, electricity, and water.
Right.
Those are gonna be like the first three panics. Fat guy with guns, what up, Big Zach? Those are going to be like the first bigger panics that really affect you. You'll get that scatter early on. You'll get that run out to the store, try to buy what you can buy. Cash is probably going to be your best way to go because the electricity, the grid, all that's going to be kind of spotty depending on where you're at. And so I think that first panic is to go out and get enough to fill your house up to be comfortable, at least for a few weeks, still not knowing what's going on. And it's wild because Americans, we have such a weird way of our first initial thought is terrorism because of what's happened, in the past. Yeah, so a lot of us, CW, what up? So a lot of us are gonna be on that. Oh man, I think that might have been just a terrorist attack or something like that. Trying to get any answer that we can or whatever, but we'll be at that store, getting those shelves cleaned out, trying to get it back to the house. Communication is going to be probably going to be shot. And go ahead, man.
You know what kills me is that the last attack that we had, you would think people would be more like prepared or more alert or more. It's like
that
everybody was, was like, oh, if it blew over, we're okay because we're Americans. I think that's the downfall of us is that we put too much. Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah.
People don't understand how much even this war is changing us, and it's changing us now. It's the way food is now, and the prices of gas is raised right now.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Oh, that's another thing. Forget it. I'm trying to get some damn gas. Either you're not going to be able to get to the pump, or that pump is not going to be pumping.
Right.
So that's going to be a difficult one. That's going to be that's going to be rough. Look, see, the explosion in Nashville 2020, a lot of networks offline, and I'm sure that was a crazy panic. I was in New York when we were both in New York when the blackout happened.
Right.
No gas stations, no communication, no lights, no unless you had like some type of a free pump system or whatever, the water was messed up. So no hot water, at least. It was summertime, so it was cool, but still the panic.
I remember that blackout, and my grandmother was like, everybody should know to come home. Like, don't be in them streets. There's nothing in them streets for trouble. And we all met at my mother's house. Everybody. It was like no way of communicating, but everybody knew this is where you needed to get. No bus ifs about it.
Yeah, yep. And I knew exactly where, and it's crazy to see this in action. I knew exactly where I was. I remember exactly where I was. It was my father's birthday. And we went to the local pool, took my daughters to the pool. And all of a sudden, I don't know if you ever got to a pool, like a public pool. You don't notice how loud these pumps and generators are until you hear them shut off. So you get to the pool and the kids are laughing, they're playing the ambiance or whatever, and all of a sudden you hear this. Like, what the fuck just happened? Everybody get out the pool. Everybody out of the pool. Nobody knows what happened. I swear it was about the end of the day. That was early, 2 o'clock in the afternoon or so. I didn't know what happened until the end of the day. There was no way to find out. There was no electricity. There was no way to find out.
But I'm saying, did you leave the pool? Because they couldn't let you continue to swim.
That's the thing. Nobody was like, okay, we had a blackout. It's going to last for 5 days. You guys got to leave now. Nobody knew. Nobody knew. So we all, we're just sitting there like, all right, when they going to cut the water back on? When we can get
Oh,
pool? You sitting up there for a half hour trying to figure out if you can get back in the pool. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers be at work sitting, at the grocery store sitting online trying to figure out, I got to pay for this whole thing of groceries. How many grocery stores on the East Coast lost power where people were sitting online trying to figure out what they're going to do with these damn groceries? How long was it before they knew that the shit wasn't going to be back on for a couple of days?
That's true.
That immediate shock, that first, like, what the hell now? You don't know. There's no communication. There's no way to find out. And sometimes even media has a slow way to report it. And if you don't have like a crank radio, or if you're not in your vehicle or something like that,
because my dad had the big boom box with the with the D batteries.
The D mothers.
Right.
Virginia Roots, what up, girl?
Hey, Virginia. But
so yeah,
but now you knowing that, right?
Being through that.
Yeah, after being through everything that we've been through living in New York, do you feel as if you can do better now or help me with prepping now instead of just worrying about the 2A part of it?
You know what now? Because are you trying to like chastise me on now?
No, right now? I'm just asking questions. We're not fighting on the life today.
You're gonna love that 2A side when I shoot a deer and bring it home for you.
But right, you know what? But I'm serious because I feel as if, and I feel like we know enough people with intelligent people.
Yeah.
And we just need to start a community, have a location, coordinates for all of us to just build something on. So if anything weird happens, you can say, all right, we're gonna do a week or two. All right, we have this we have the coordinates to this location, and let's EP, I know you in here somewhere. You're not going to the tactical turkeys. You're coming with us. I'm just letting BP know. You're not going to the tactical turkeys. You're closer to us. It makes sense for you to come to our coordinates.
BP, what up? Pimp, what up, girl? What's popping? Yeah, I might be able to get a deer in a can, something like that, somehow, some way. Yeah, man. But it's gonna be mass hysteria. Fat guy with guns. What up, my brother? What's going on?
What up?
Everything good. How'd dinner come out?
I didn't cook no dinner, man. I was working on these videos, man.
What?
That's what I've been doing.
That's all right. Busy.
What's up, Erica?
How you doing, Zach?
I'm all right. I've been trying to be busy today. Had the day off, so I was trying to get stuff done.
He's working on his day off.
What up, everybody?
That's how it goes, though, right?
Let me ask y'all something now.
Yep.
This is something simple. It's so simple, but it's real.
Mm-hmm.
Do y'all know what the siren sounds like when a bomb goes off?
No.
Simple shit.
I just know the siren for the tornadoes. That's it.
Tornadoes, right? Yeah. I don't even know if my town has that. I think there's a possibility that it might have to just do the tornado thing.
I don't know if they're not. They may be one and the same. I don't know. I know that they use I know they'll use the emergency broadcast system, and now that everybody has a phone, that'll start going off like they do the Amber Alerts when they go off.
Right. That'll
go off. You'll be able to do that, and then most people don't watch regular television now, so.
Yeah,
I don't know. That's something. I don't know if there's a special. Damn, that's a good question.
Yeah,
right now.
I don't know what the hell it was.
$2 said it's the same one. It's the same siren.
Yeah, okay. Urban Garden. What up, young lady? How you feeling? Real deal. I hope you can hear me. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right, good.
All right, real deal.
Thanks, bro.
What's up,
Hey, real
everybody?
deal.
Chilling.
What you guys doing?
Not bad. Not
So-
bad.
It's cool that you're having a live like this because I've been pondering this for a while and I was thinking about making a video story about this. So I have a small farm. I raise my own food. I got food storage. I got guns. I got ammo. I got all that stuff. I got generators. I got all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I tell you where I've been lacking, and I think a lot of people are lacking. And I'm not preaching. And if anybody gets offended, that's on you because I have no control of your feelings. Only you have control of your feelings. But I've been getting back into the Word with God. Now I'm not talking about you have to go to church and you have to do this. I'm talking about one-on-one relationship.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right.
And
That's the one you're gonna need.
you can choose how you see that. But for me, I've been getting back in the Word, and that gives me comfort because we got to be mentally, physical, and spiritually in harmony.
I
Right.
dig that.
And
Right.
so I've been getting back in the Word, and I'm telling you, I feel awesome about it. But like I said, I know some people, if you say God, they get all offended. That's on you. I have no control of your feelings. Only you do.
That's true.
You can call God all you want. You can call God the big oak tree in your front yard if that makes you happy.
That's right. That's right.
I call God who I call God. But
So
I mean,
It looked like the tornado siren and the civil defense siren sound the same.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Yeah.
But even I'm sure there's some people in here, some people in the community that haven't had the opportunity to hear that, even a tornado siren. You know what I'm saying?
They do the test here. Like the nearest one to me is like literally around the corner.
Oh, damn.
They test it a couple times a month or something like that, and
Mhm.
you'll be sitting there. Usually it's on a Tuesday. All of a
Yeah.
sudden the sirens start going off. I start looking.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's loud. Ours is probably 3 blocks away or so. What do you say, babe? By the tower.
Yeah. The tower's like 2 blocks. It's like up the street and around the corner. It's walking distance.
Mhm.
So,
But yeah, man, we are used to it. Is there anybody in the chat that actually has never heard a tornado siren or a state of emergency style loud siren? Even some have announcements.
Mhm.
yeah, ours does announcements.
I know
Yeah.
my thing that gets me is I am 25 minutes away from Wright Pat Air Force Base.
Yeah.
So that worries me a little bit.
Yeah, it could be a worry, it could be a
That
safety.
something still hit, man.
I think that being near a base of some sort, I think supplies are going to be easier to receive.
You think so?
I hope so. I hope so.
I just look at it as a first strike
Area.
location. So I mean,
That's what I would see it as.
That's how I see it as
I
like a
wouldn't
first
want to
strike
be.
location. So if something happens, I'm
Right.
like, I need to get a little bit further away from. 'Cause if they start dropping nukes anyway, you're talking about it's mutual mass destruction. So
Yeah.
it's not gonna be a lot you can do unless you got a bunker or something you can get far on the ground. And they got those people who have bought those abandoned. They're not abandoned. They buy them from the government, like the nuclear sites and stuff. You actually buy them. There's people who live in them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
that's
it's
another
crazy.
question. You guys,
Well, it's not on the target list. Good, thanks, Joe. I'm
me and
glad.
my wife discussed it, and we're not 100% sure we want to survive a nuclear fallout.
Hmm.
I might just, we talked about it. We kind of wish if there is a nuclear war, we're ready to go. I don't know if that's a situation I want to live through.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
when you say ready to go, I mean, if I leave, it's gonna be something kill me.
Yeah. It's gonna be a fight. Yeah, but I don't know. Shit could be a reality before we fucking know it. Ghetto, what up?
I just look because we talked
What's up,
about
my
this-
fly?
What up, Ghetto? We talked about this a little bit earlier, and I don't foresee this happening. I just don't.
Yo, like I said, the people in Ukraine, they was chilling, going to work, eating sushi
Yeah,
the
because they
same way
definitely was
you.
talking about they didn't think they was
Yeah, but
going to war,
that's
and
a
now they're
different.
refugees.
That's
Yo,
different. That's
you
different.
just
That's different circumstances.
you just paid fucking 17 euros for a mocha latte and heard some whistling. Like, woo, okay, bang. Like shit was all sweet. Motherfuckers is wilding a couple miles away. You know, I get that. But yo, they took out that bridge. They took out some civilian areas or whatever. Shit got close, you know.
As big of a superpower Russia is, though, why didn't they just take it over real quick? Why is it long and drawn out like it is right now?
Because they can't. Because right now Russia is in their own personal Vietnam. That's why they thought that they were going to roll through Ukraine and just do whatever they wanted to do. It's hard to go anywhere and just take anybody's stuff. It's like if someone came to your house ghetto and just said, "Yo, we just going to do this." I don't care if it's a bunch of people. Eventually, they may get you, but you're going to take a whole bunch of people right along.
Happy Columbus Day, everybody.
Right.
That was the last motherfucker that came through.
Right. That's what's happening in the Ukraine, man. It's their own. They thought that those people were going to lay down, and it's not easy to just walk in and take somebody's stuff.
I agree. I just think there's more propaganda with it. Sorry, real deal.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just saying, at the end of the day, they want the land. They don't want to destroy it. They want
because if anybody understands the history of what's going on right now, Putin is no different than what's going on with China. Just that China does it differently. China's going to think they're going to rebuild the Silk Road and that they're going to be this massive power again when it comes to trade and things like that. That's why they're all over the place. That's why they're in Africa buying stuff and things. And Putin, the same thing. He wants the old USSR back. Yeah. He calls himself doing that. He's from the old guard. He's the old KGB guy, and he's trying to reestablish the Russian Empire, so to speak.
Yeah, absolutely.
The problem with that is that there's too many other hands inside those parts of the empire, and that's why he keeps threatening. I got nukes. He's not the only one. Those are threats, and unless he just gets up one morning and decides we just want mass, mutual destruction. Those things are just threats. And that's why I'm surprised in what I'm hearing from certain politicians being tough. I'm like, usually you don't see that. Well, we were talking about that this morning. I think you got old man syndrome. he's made some statements that I was not expecting him to make.
You talking about dude with dementia?
Yeah, you have to be tough. And I don't think he has dementia. I think he's old and slow, and he needs to go somewhere and retire or whatever. Yeah. I don't think he has dementia. I don't see. Just because a person is old doesn't mean they don't know anything.
Right.
So I mean, I don't see that. I'm paying attention to it. I'm watching it, but not enough to let it scare me. Because I understand that the guys who are really involved, like you got China and some other people, China don't want that. They believe they don't plan for 10 years ahead. They plan for 1,000 years ahead.
Yo, so let's look on it. China at the moment has over half of the world's grain stockpiled. Oh. So talking about thinking so far ahead, I don't know if anybody lives in country areas or if you ever seen a chicken production house in Georgia now. It used to be, like old Johnny's chicken coop or something, or even Purdue and all that. Now you roll past these chicken coops here with thousands and thousands of chickens. Min Yang, Yin Brothers, all Chinese, all Chinese owned, and they are doing. And now I see it personally in my driving.
That's our government and our politicians' fault because they sold our country down the river so that they can think that they're gonna have something. I can't blame the Chinese. The Chinese said, "Hey, can we buy this?" And they was like, "Yeah, okay," because our politicians are all corrupt on both sides. I don't care who the hell they are from whatever party, and all they care about is themselves.
Yeah,
right.
And that's the reason why they allow our country to be just sold for nothing. It's just how it is.
I don't know, and I don't know. I think that we're gonna start seeing more things touch our soil, and it might not be, actual combat war. It might not be missile attacks and all that, but there's gonna be other ways that are gonna show show our weakness.
I mean, here's the one thing about our country, as divided as we are. And I watched this when we had the whole thing, because at the time we lived in New York when we had when they hit the World Trade Center, and I watched that whole entire city galvanize together, just like they never had any problems.
Yeah.
Right.
And I don't put that past the American people. It's just like you and your family can argue, but let somebody else from the outside come in and try to get in the middle of it. All of a sudden, the family gets together and kick their ass.
Yeah.
That's
That's
just
true.
that's just how that's an American thing. We're built off of
Right.
revolution. The country is built off of revolution. So I see something like that. That's why I don't take a lot of threats and things from people serious, because I do believe at some point we'll be like, yeah, okay, we'll hate each other later. Right now, we gotta kick their ass.
That's
Right.
right.
That's
That's
We
the
don't
history of
doubt
America. And
that's why it
eventually,
makes
the politicians they get on our nerves after a while too, and then the politicians you have to dispatch them also. That's what real revolution is. Real revolution is the people deciding that the politicians are full of shit, and we're gonna do away with them, and we're gonna start up some new shit. That's what revolution is.
I'm gonna tell you, my favorite quote is by Malcolm X, and he says, "War is when the government tells you who your enemy is. Revolution is when you figure that out on your own."
I agree.
agreed.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sad. You don't want to think that could happen, but I can see that happening before anything else, because you either gotta be blind or stupid to not know that the politicians on any side, I don't care, they don't give a shit about the American people. Everybody has a lobby except the American people. These people that are supposed to represent us, that we vote for and that we put in, who usually go totally against what we're interested in, they don't give a shit about us. And people for some reason decide that they do. And I don't get it. I mean, at some point, I thought that same thing, but then as I get older and I start waking up and realizing stuff and look, I'm like, there's a song that Tupac said they don't give a fuck about us, and it's the truth.
Amen. But I didn't have that on my icon. I actually took it off. I didn't want to be disrespectful.
Now there's a First Amendment guy I watch on YouTube. That's how his show opens up all the time with that song. They don't give a fuck about us.
So let me ask you this. Zach, since you brought it up, and I'm not the one to bring it up, Tony. Just saying, revolution. Do you think? Do you think we're past the of no return when it comes to revolution? Because I personally believe we should have already been in a revolution years ago. Because
what does the revolution
how
mean, though? How do you see that?
Yeah,
because we need
revolution.
Well, it's gonna look different in every way, but we need to take back the government. We need to take back the system. Just like Zach was saying, we need to put people that we actually voted for.
Yeah, but
that we actually want in there.
That stuff goes
that's the wild part.
There's
a catch-22 to that shit.
Stuff goes in small increments, though, too. I mean, you watch how
even us that say that we still have different beliefs on what we want, what kind of power we want to give to somebody. So
right.
Get to that point in revolution. Oh, we overthrew the government. Guess what the fuck gonna happen after that? We're gonna have to overthrow that shit again, and our kids gonna have to overthrow that shit again.
That's part of growing pains. Even in the
right,
birth,
exactly.
Even in the birth of this nation, everybody didn't agree, but they got together, and you had to come up with something that you think or feel is gonna work for the people. And that's just part of it. It's not just we have a revolution, you overthrow everything, then everything is perfect. No. You still have your growing pains, because you have to try to find a better way. You take the good stuff. Right. It's just like if I don't know if anybody's been a preacher, you eat the meat and spit out the bones. That's what you do. It's the same way when you creating and having a revolution and creating a government. Nothing is gonna be perfect, but you try to come up with, and that's why it says it's a more perfect union, not a perfect union. Yeah, think about it.
Right.
Yeah,
it's just how that stuff goes.
Never guaranteed. Silverback, what up? Sorry about the dogs barking in the back.
But the thing is,
games. What up? Hey, listen, real quick. I'm a shameless plug, real quick. Sweetie, you probably do better than me with this, but everybody, when you get the opportunity, go to Tori's Brain Games and subscribe.
Oh yes.
Hey,
that is so much fun, man.
No, it's a
I've been watching it last few days.
Check him out. I mean, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. He usually goes on Tori, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Tori goes on Monday, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays. Fridays you can win a championship belt. It's
Mm.
it's fine. It's fine.
There
It's
he is.
really,
He's
really
in the
fun.
chat. What up, Tori? I enjoy it, man. We say the dream team is on fire.
On
Fire.
I like it. I like it.
It's on fire.
Yo, even Alex be hopping in there. Dad, help me. Help
Urban
me.
put it out there. Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays.
No,
I've been
yeah.
checking them out this last week.
Yeah, yo,
It's fun.
that is the type of thing that after all this two-way talk, all this prepping talk, all this gardening talk starts to eat away at you, you go over to his channel and have some fun and get your mind right, get your brain functioning back again, you know, because this shit can get overwhelming, you know. Before you know it, you start talking like ghetto and weirding out.
Hey, that was actually my goal with Little Ghetto and doing his stuff. You know what I mean? Everybody just needs a break. But no, I've been checking out Tori, man. Yeah, he's got a good channel.
Yeah,
so
man.
I had another question. The reason why I came up here is, so what's going on right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
If everything that's going on right now, if this would have been happening, let's say in the 60s or the 50s, right? And I get it, it's another different time, but my point is if all the things that were happening, wouldn't we be reacting the way they did in the 50s and 60s? I mean, all they had was itsy bit. I ain't articulating right. My point is the mass amount of information that we're getting right now with our device and everything, it's dumbing us down to the fact that we literally are in World War III and we've been in here for a while, but we're not understanding it because we got so much information coming our way. Back in the 50s and 60s, they just had like 4 different channels telling them, hey, get under your desk, go build a bunker, go do this. And they were listening. We're not listening to anything. We're watching bridges get blown out by thermite and all this other extra stuff, and we're not doing nothing. You know what I mean? We're not panicking to the grocery store.
I see it as we have to prepare for ourselves, and then we can take the next steps. There's so many people, even young kids, who are just like, it's not no concern to me yet. I want to live my life now. So it's like you have to stabilize your household, your own family before moving up that ladder.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, I agree.
Information is the most valuable thing there is. It's not gold and silver. It's not guns. It's information.
And that's why they weaponized it.
You got the right information, you can do stuff. But then it is incumbent upon you as an individual, as a person who leads your family or whatever, to do the best that you can to decipher that information so you can move accordingly. What happens is, especially in the United States, we're comfortable because most of the time nothing ever happens.
What you're saying right here, Zach, let me put this up there. Siege caught it. We watched the war and turn on our favorite TV show like nothing ever happened, man.
Exactly.
That's how comfortable we fucking get.
That's one of the things that because of the nation that we are, and because even the Japanese said it, we won't go on their land, because if we do, the closest they got was Hawaii. If we do, there'll be a gun behind every blade of grass. And because that'll what happen. You'll come here and then you have to deal with the army and you have to deal with the population.
Right.
And because things don't happen to us like that, like we lived in some war-torn place that there's always fighting and always shooting and stuff like that, other than regular crime, we may respond differently, but we have it easy here. And what happens is you get lulled into a false sense of security. And that's what ends up happening. Then when stuff jumps off, it'll shake you for a little while, but you always fall back to that comfortable space because naturally you want to go into the comfortable space. And it's just sort of, it's kind of it's a double-edged sword being in a place that's so free where a lot of stuff doesn't happen. There's a certain edge that takes away from you. That's why there's people that live in certain circumstances and certain situations who always got an edge because they live in a certain type of situation that keeps them on guard all the time.
Yo, because
we live in nice places and we're not always on guard.
Here's a good example of that. A turtle has a shell and it thinks it's good just walking around the forest, and all of a sudden that shit says, oh, there's a street, let me try to cross that street. Guess what's in that fucking street?
The cars.
Some shit that can crack that shell. Yo, we get too comfortable. Michael Farmer, what up, brother?
Well, let me throw this out there. I agree that as Americans we get tone deaf and we get real comfortable and stuff. But why should we get involved in the Ukraine stuff? It's not like Ukraine's an awesome government and they're pure and innocent. They're a corrupted government. The leader of Ukraine is not a saint. He's a scumbag politician. So why do we get involved in something that shouldn't be involved?
If that's the case, there's no more scummier the scumbags than the people that run our government.
Yeah,
well,
it's just the truth. The American government has its hands everywhere, all across the world, and has done so much shit. I mean,
I'm 50 years old. I don't know how you guys.
Thanks, OJ.
I ain't 50.
If we go to war, I'm not going to war. I'm not going to Ukraine. They're not sending you, Zach. They're not sending you, Billy. They're sending Alex in a few years. They're sending 18-year-olds.
Right.
So why are we going to send our young men to fight for a corrupted government against another corrupted government?
I don't disagree.
Why do we have to
disagree with you? I don't disagree. I don't think we should have I don't understand how we can send $300 billion over to Ukraine, but then I got a guy who lives down the street who's about to lose his house over some bullshit.
Exactly.
I don't get that. Or we got neighborhoods that don't have anything. There's no businesses and no infrastructure, but we can send $300 billion, a million, whatever, to these people over across the seas. Now, I do understand there's other things at play here because we live in a global society. We don't live just here in the United States. Yeah. And there's other stuff that people do and things that happen in higher places that I probably couldn't speak to.
Yeah,
I do understand that too. We don't just live in a singular place. We live in a global society.
And there's political. There's definitely some political edges that we probably wouldn't understand or be familiar with. Mm-hmm. The reasoning why we would get involved in something like that. If America decided to get involved in something with Ukraine near the border of Russia, guess what we have open run to? The border of Russia. So if anything ever goes down, we stop it before it gets over the ocean. You know what I'm saying? So there's definitely, some political views too.
That's why they don't want those countries to join NATO. They don't want Finland to join NATO. They don't want the Ukraine to be in NATO because NATO is a big force. No matter what you think about NATO, it's a big apparatus. And it's crazy how, it's one thing because I look at Putin and I understand, but then I don't understand. We talked about this earlier, Billy. And I understand that, but I understand that Ukraine did something and gave up something in order to be left alone. And now that they can't defend themselves, here comes the big bully deciding, I'm just going to take that back. Because I guarantee you, if Ukraine still had their nuclear weapons, Putin wouldn't be doing this bullshit. Yeah, I guarantee you that. They gave it up because they figured that they were going to be left alone.
Well, no, they gave it up because Bill Clinton sat down and brokered the deal that Ukraine give back their nuclear weapons. And Bill Clinton made a deal with Ukraine if they gave back the nuclear weapons that we would have their back. Obviously, we don't have their back. But
no. We do have their back. We're sending them billions of dollars.
Yeah.
We do have their back, but we just can't. It's politics. It's a game. We just can't send people over there because then you do cause an issue. It's still mutual destruction. That's
y'all realize we got a gang
of you don't want to have mutual destruction. No.
Oh, I know. I'm not for sending people there. We didn't get involved in World War II until Japan decided to drop some bombs on us. We were not getting involved in that war. In that World War II,
they decided that they were going to touch us, and what
That's
happened?
Right. And then we
totally agree.
You woke up the sleeping giant.
Right, you punch me in the stomach. Then I'm gonna.
I think we was in there at the start of it,
and that's what happened. I don't think we were wrong for doing that. We were the biggest, baddest boys on the block, so we said, something, don't fuck with us. Boom, there you go, and that took care of that.
Yeah, Michael Farmer. That's what I said earlier. That's why I understand what's going on over there.
Yeah, the Cuban Missile Crisis. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
But you also got to remember, you can't be plugged into the news all the time because their job is to get you all hyped up.
That's why it's up to you.
So
as an individual. It's up to you as an individual to go out and try to search and find stuff that's credible and learn information on your own and make decisions based off of your own research and what you find. It's up to people, and most people, like I said, don't want to, especially if you're comfortable. You don't want to look at it.
You don't want to wake up. Kind of like a Democrat. You just don't want to wake up. Like, I'm good.
Easy with the politics.
Let me ask y'all a question.
Okay, Joe.
Could we possibly
what up,
still
bro?
be in World War II?
No,
As in,
No.
this is the psychological part of it?
no,
No.
I don't think
No.
so, huh?
no.
No.
World War II been over.
Yeah.
What do we need all those scientists for? All those people that did all those atrocious things to so many millions of people. Why do we need them to become CIA members and part of our government as soon as
Well,
it
they also
came?
became part of Russia's government too.
That's what I mean. That's exactly what I mean.
You
So
split 'em
what?
up.
Because you always want to try to have the edge. You're a superpower. You want to be the superpower. You want to have the edge. So if I got a guy over here who knows how to make this weapon that nobody else knows how to make, if I can hire him and bring him in and make him feel safe and have him build it for me, that's what I'm gonna do. I mean,
You
like you say,
split that atom.
it's about chess. It ain't about checkers. That's what I mean. That
Right.
makes perfect sense to me. If I know
It
ghetto,
does. It
if I
does.
know ghetto, if I know ghetto makes the best fried chicken in the world, and I can get ghetto to come work for me and open up a restaurant, and I'm
You
making
stretching it.
comfortable, I'm gonna pay
I was
for it.
thinking more like meth.
Stretching it.
Yeah, whatever.
This motherfucker.
You know, I'm using something innocuous. That's all. I mean,
But
that's
even so, like right now, Alex is learning how the U.S. was developed and how
Mhm.
Canada and everything else is going on.
That's right.
And he was just like, well, why is everybody moving from where they at and trying to take over somewhere else? And I was like, because they don't want to follow their rules. So if you don't want to follow somebody's rules, you go over and you take somebody else's rules and you change their rules and make them your own.
chicken, urban
So,
chicken.
so it's kind of like we're also learning about that. We're learning about how women started the garden, the village garden, because they was on they had rational food and everything else like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So he's kind of
that's
like,
how
is that going to happen now though?
prepare for it.
Yeah,
Right.
and that's the thing. I remember back in the day, being a kid, everybody had a garden. My mother had a garden for so many years, when she was able to, before she actually started working, before she became a nurse. And everybody around the neighborhood, everybody had gardens. It was something that people learned. If we're moving back into the same thing, then go ahead and start you a garden. It's something that should have never stopped. But like I said, we got too comfortable and we were too,
Well, I think one of the reasons
too easy.
why it stopped was, is because we had to start having two family incomes. And so if the wife
when did
was
that
out there
start?
working, you only got so much time. If you're working 40, 60 hours a week and you come home dead tired, it's hard to go out there in the yard and plant food. It's hard to pick it and can it. It's, what I'm saying, you're worried about paying the bills.
Right.
And then instead of canning stuff, I'll go down to Aldi's and get me a case of corn.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. Only June, what up, brother? Uncle June.
They developed our country to work for them.
Who is they though?
Right.
Look at the
'Cause you
families.
can-
See,
Because I don't think that because I'm not a conspiracy theory sort of guy. I think that I think as things progress, things do change and they look different, and you start leaning on things more. But I don't think that there's some mastermind somewhere that's controlling and conducting everything. I think things move how they move, and people adjust to what is going to be the easiest thing for them. Until
Yeah.
you realize, wait a minute, doing the easy thing may not be the most prudent thing or the best thing for me and my family.
right.
And that's what ends
You
up
don't
happening.
you don't
I
believe
agree.
in the family. You don't believe in the what is it? The five families, the five elite families.
You mean
It exists.
like
the Rockefellers.
the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds and all those people?
Yeah.
Man, I don't know. I don't have a clue if they doing all this stuff. I don't have a clue. I don't know.
It does exist. It's a real thing, but they don't control the world. It just don't happen, in my opinion. I could be way
Well,
off.
I don't think there's somebody somewhere that just controls everything.
I don't think it's a someone.
There's a kingdom. If there is a kingdom, it's a kingdom of chaos, and they all
Well,
Exactly.
with each other. That's how I look
The
at
way
it.
Exactly.
the way I see it, and the reason why I bring that up is I don't see it as a someone or a they as in people. I'm a very spiritual man. I'm a man of faith. I do believe this is the devil's world. And I'm not trying to go way in the left field, but I believe it's the devil's world. And I do believe we are controlled by the devil. Whether we got free, we got our own choice, freedom, free will, and all that other stuff. But we live in His world, and we've been playing by His rules.
One day, I'll have a private conversation with you about that, because I was a preacher for a long time, and I got that phrase, "the kingdom of chaos," based off of that whole thing where people think the devil controls something. The devil can't even control his own kingdom. Then, if you actually want to get spiritual about it, it says that your Father, who would be the God in heaven, He owns and controls everything. So I can't say that the devil is down here, because this is not His world. He may be able to be loose and running. I'm going into something different. He may be loose and be able to run into it, but he doesn't control anything, and he can't do anything new either, because he has no creativity. That's a whole other religious conversation. We ain't gonna have that here.
No, I got you. My point is that in the way I believe the system is set up, I do believe there is a certain amount of people and or demons, whatever you want to call it, at the top. Each country are just pawns and or gangs, cartels. I believe the United States is the cartels, the rest are gangs, and we all do work together. I don't think we at war with Russia right now. Why the hell are we putting astronauts up into space, Russian astronauts? I mean, we're still working together in places that doesn't make sense if we were still at war. If we're at war.
You do know they ended that program, right?
They just sent that Russian dude up just like 4 days ago.
That program is at its end. They had a big thing about that. That whole Russian space station American thing is at its end because of what's going on right now. I pay attention. This is the stuff that I don't talk about all the time.
So.
I pay attention to all of this stuff.
Right. I hope so. I mean, that makes sense. I mean, it hopes. And I also don't see why China would want to invade us when we've been essentially putting their people into slavery for years. I mean, they work for us.
Man, but that's why China owns so much of the United States. It's ridiculous. Most of the debt that we have, the money that we get the money from China. Our debt with them is ridiculous. It is in China's best interest that America prospers, unless they're gonna try to take the whole thing over by force. That's what I'm saying. This stuff is not new to me. I pay attention to this stuff a lot. This is the stuff that I do outside of YouTube that has nothing to do with guns and knives and survival. Just knowledge.
Believe it or not.
What? That you don't live in your room? I thought you lived in your room until you popped the camera.
Yo, I mean, I know that probably the most majority of the chat and y'all on the panel have seen Book of Eli, but when you watch that movie, you do understand the power of religion, the power of faith, and the power of knowledge.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
He realized that anybody who understands, I don't want to get on a religious kick. Anybody who understands, in most churches across the United States, everybody reads out of the King James Bible, the old school book. If anybody goes and researches the history of the King James Bible and why it's written a certain way and why that particular book was actually one of the first books to ever be given out in mass to people, because you used to have to be rich in order to have books.
That's right.
Yeah.
They gave that out, and they gave that book out, and it's written a certain way because at the time King James was having trouble inside his kingdom. And that's why he had that book written and translated a certain way, because it was to control the masses. It was the biggest, greatest mind, and it worked.
Well, the majority of people don't even know what the word Bible means.
Right. If you actually go back and you study real text where they got this stuff from, there's so many mistranslations. That's why I said I did this stuff for years, man. All this concordances and exegesis and all this other crap I used to study. And you find out the real truth behind it. What ends up happening is you actually move away from religion because you find out what religion is really based off. You can't
religion.
You can't.
It's all about control.
Search for truth. And then when you go looking for truth, you find out what's been telling you to search for truth is bullshit.
That's right.
That's what happened to me. That's why I'm not in anybody's church now.
Jeff Light, what up?
I was going to say earlier, it's a difference between religion and a relationship with God. Those are two separate things.
Exactly. And you start to learn
the worst thing about churches is that they allow people in.
that's what the church is supposed to be. The church is supposed to be a hospital. It's supposed to be a place for broken people to go and become whole. And what happens is that stuff, when you have a person that's broken, you have a person who decides, or persons who decide that they want to manipulate people through emotion and things like that. That's what happens. That's why you look at all this bullshit that goes on across the country with all these mega ministries and stuff. That's why I always told my wife, the first time I find a ministry or something somewhere where the guy's like, hey, we don't want your money. We're self-sufficient. We got our own businesses. We're here to teach you how to invest and have your own and really live in the quote-unquote kingdom of God and be prosperous. That's the church where I'm going to go give all my time and everything.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's the place that I'm going to go. Other than that, I don't want to be in nobody's church because a lot of it's a bunch of bullshit.
So yeah, okay. So with the Bible being written exactly what you said, because I definitely agree. Dude was a homosexual. Dude was all kinds of extras that was completely against the Bible as it is. So it made no sense as to anybody would follow it anyways. But my point is if they could use that for the power of control, and it did. The Bible, the King James Bible, controlled billions of people. I imagine throughout the time that it's been on the planet. Exactly, it still does. Now, how much better? If you're one entity or whatever, could you control the people with just the internet? Because I believe that's the warfare that they're putting upon us right now. That's why we look at war and look at all this disparity, and then we turn on our favorite TV show right afterwards because we're so desensitized to the fact that all of this stuff is just fake because we're being controlled.
So you're
by the
on
information.
YouTube, Ghetto. Are you part of the problem?
Exactly. I am.
Okay.
Exactly. But guess where my kids aren't? You see what I'm saying? Like I'm already hip to it. I already have my shields up, my armor up when I do get on the internet. My children, they're still building their armor to get up.
I disagree with that whole thing about, them controlling you with knowledge, because the word, if we're getting back into it, it says my people perish because of a lack of knowledge. It is up to you to go out and get the knowledge that you need in order to be successful in whatever it is that you do. And people just get lazy and they don't want to do it. You find the easy path and you walk and you do it. There's stuff that was put inside that book that is important. There's stuff you can live by and things you can go by. And there's some other stuff in there that are a bunch of contradictions. If you don't go study and find out what it says, you'll never know how to really move.
Yeah, and
I don't believe that. Either God is a liar and man is telling the truth. But I don't believe that having information makes you weak. Having information makes you strong. It's just that what are you going to do to make sure that information is solid? Like I said, eat the meat and spit out the bones.
I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it makes you weak. I think it desensitizes you to the reality of the world. Like you constantly watching somebody starving over and over and over. Like we've all seen those Ethiopian commercials from the 80s and 90s, and we're watching all these people, and then they throw on some other show. We get more interested in that. We're able to turn it off in our mind, the destruction, the atrocities that go on in humanity. Like we're able to just flip it off. And I do believe that was designed to make us flip it off, so we're not over there helping these individuals.
I think that's natural. I don't think that anybody gave us that condition. That's part of the human mind.
Yeah,
it's part of. We're not like water. Water, no matter what you put in front of it, it's gonna find a way to get through it. You put a rock in front of water, eventually it'll wear it down and then cut a hole through it. Most people are not like that. Most people, you bump up against something that's hard, you stop. Unless that's why that whole thing was when I was growing up. That when it going get tough, the tough get going. They don't do that now with kids. Now with kids, stuff gets difficult. Oh, just back off and take it easy. No. I don't teach my son that.
No, they say here's the
trophy.
You dig in, you buckle down, and if it won't get out your way, you break the shit till it's gone. That's the way that I'm a Gen Xer. That's how we were taught. We were raised that way to be like that. And they don't do that anymore. That's one of the big problems in today's society.
I'll throw this out there. I can watch TV and see that Ethiopian commercial and turn it off and don't think nothing about it. But then I have a friend, I have my neighbor, or I have a friend that is having a hard time buying groceries, and I'll go out and bring him food.
Mm-hmm. Right.
There's nothing I can do about that Ethiopian kid across the world, but I can help my neighbor.
Yep, and that's one thing too. You see yourself as I'm one guy. How can I really affect what's going on in Ethiopia? If I had a bag like that and I could jump on a plane and go over there and start building schools and digging wells and all type of things, it's different. But you look at yourself too, in this, I'm this small entity inside this big giant world until I find something that I can affect and that I can do some good. It's just like, it's like that whole ripple effect thing. It's like one little small ripple in the water, branches out or whatever. You got to see yourself as that drop. And That's what you got to. I mean, it's just because we can't.
And that's how we will do it. But our younger generation is being trained on this constant information, this constant chaotic information that they're not gonna just go help somebody else.
But
my kids will.
That's up to you as a father to teach your
No,
son.
I get that. I get that.
About the generation as a whole.
I'm just talking about I'm genuinely talking about the war, the World War III that we're going through. I mean, I'm still on the same subject because I believe it's a psychological war more than anything. And our young generation is the target. And they've been the target for a while since they gave us the internet and the devices and a way to control the masses.
I be wanting to stop you because you be saying they and them and shit. That's us, bro.
Right. That's. I mean,
it's us if we don't. But look. It's us if we don't stop them. If we don't stop that particular. It is us. That's why it's
on every day. I'm gonna get on
this.
But I'm not changing, and it's not because somebody's conditioned. It's just what technology is, and this is what living is. Real quick, I'm sorry, G Dope. What up, Walt E? What's popping? Soul brother, Eddie Tactical. What it do? What's going on, y'all?
Do you know what scrying is, Zach, or anybody up on the panel? Scrying?
No, tell me.
Scrying is what you
educate.
So back in the day, they they had the what is it, the like the Salem witches and stuff, right? Yeah. Basically, Black Mirrors itself. You had anything to do with the Black Mirror, they'll just take your whole lineage because I mean it was the most evil thing in the world. And this is what Virginia Roots had helped me better. She's my teacher, but now we have them literally in every, part. I'm not saying, oh my God, I'm scared of a Black Mirror. I'm not saying that because everything is a tool. So don't act like I'm against it because obviously I'm on here speaking. I'm just saying parts of history, all these things that were bad and were confirmed used for, bad things. Now we're using them and they're supposed to be good. We're supposed to condition ourselves to them being good. Why aren't we still seeing them as bad or not?
Black screen. Are you talking about the screen on your phone?
Yeah, that'd be a Black Mirror. Yeah.
So let me throw this out there. So you keep saying conditioning. We're being conditioned. We're being conditioned. You can only be conditioned if you allow yourself to be conditioned.
Exactly.
So don't allow yourself to be conditioned.
Right.
Know what you believe.
I agree.
And first of all, this is a screen. It's not a mirror. See, I can get technical with you. We can split hairs. We can
turn it off and look at yourself, man.
That doesn't make a mirror. A mirror has certain characteristics and a certain chemical that makes it does what it does when it has a mirror. This is not a mirror. It doesn't do the same thing. You may be able to just because you can see your reflection doesn't mean that thing is a mirror. We can go back. That'd be a hell of a debate we can have over that. Just because it gives you a reflection doesn't mean it's a mirror. A mirror is a specific thing. A mirror is a mirror. A screen is a screen. Just because I can see my reflection, it doesn't make it a mirror.
I'm going to put this out there. So say there's a kid that plays, I'm not in the video games, but what's Call of Duty? So there's a kid who's in Call of Duty, plays Call of Duty all the time. Mm-hmm. And then one morning he wakes up, takes his father's rifle, and he goes to school and he shoots a bunch of people. And they want to blame the video game. It's not the video game. The video game didn't condition the young child to kill a bunch of people. There's some major things lacking in that child's life.
The kid already had issues already.
Right.
The game didn't make. I done played so much video games and shut up and blew up stuff. And I mean, I've been playing video games. We from that generation when video games became popular. And to this day, I'm almost 50 years old and I still play video games. And I ain't never once got up and decided I need to go shoot up everything. And I've been mad as hell at some stuff. And I ain't never once got up and said, you know something, I need to go shoot up something because I was playing Call of Duty last night. Not once. It's because there's something in my mind that's right. There was something in those person's mind that wasn't right. It was something that was off, whether somebody noticed it or not.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And so that's when you get to talking to why are we and us, that's that first fucking place to question it is at home. Why do we ask our children to certain things? Why do we let ourselves, our wives, our spouses, husbands have access or exposure to certain things or whatever? And there's never going to be an answer to what you're saying. It's never going to be an answer because every household is going to be different. Everybody's is going to be different. It's never. So it's almost like,
Right.
shit. Why? I'm not saying don't ask the question, but
No,
like,
that's why I ask them.
And ghetto.
I see different weapons when it comes to World War III. I don't see that just they're going to hit us with nukes or they're going to invade us. They don't have to invade us. They don't have to invade us at all. They got school nurses trying to change the sex of our children. There's so many different things that they are attacking us with. They don't even have to invade.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree with you, ghetto. I agree with
being
you.
a parent is important. You being a parent to your child, and
Right.
it is important. And to maybe some other child, if you have the ability to sort of be like a mentor or a role model or whatever, it's up to you to do that. That's the thing. Is we always look at the thing that this is them, this that the man, whatever you want to call it. You fucking stop paying attention to him. Do what it is that you need to do to make sure that the outcome is a certain way. It's
Yeah.
the reason
Yeah.
why I don't ascribe to the whole devil thing. I just don't, because the devil made me do it, or someone's in control of something. We forget about the one thing that's more powerful than the devil. You know what it is? Is you. And I'm going back to you because you mentioned it. Because if you look in the Bible, it talks about resist the devil and he'll flee, but it tells you to flee from fornication, which is a human thing. So it means that you're more powerful than whatever the quote unquote devil is.
Yeah.
I want you to think about that. I want you to think about it.
No, I agree. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
so that's why I don't get into that whole thing of looking at it's just having a boogeyman always give you an out. Having the devil always gives you an out. Because if you always have an out, that means you don't have to have responsibility for yourself. And
Yeah,
blame
somebody
yourself.
else to blame.
Agreed.
Right.
Agreed. And I'm not trying to pass the buck or anything like that. I mean, I don't believe in the things as in us. I just ask those questions just to put it out there because the majority of Americans or whoever they just give these devices to our children from 2 years old all the way up. They're designed to do whatever it is they're doing. Now, each household do whatever you want. I'm not saying it like that. I'm just saying it could be a possibility that we still are within a psychological warfare and they're able to use these things. I mean, back in the 50s and 60s, we used to be scared of the man. Oh, your house is wiretapped, blah, blah, blah. Now we're asking our wiretap for a pancake recipe. You know what I mean? We've given up so many of our freedoms and we're not understanding how many freedoms we're giving up just by visiting a simple website.
Yeah, I think we've given up those freedoms for convenience.
Exactly.
And like right now, think about this.
Give it up for
we could have this conversation the way that they used to have this conversation. We could write a letter, we could put a stamp on it and send it, wait for a response, and we're gonna be old as hell by the time we get done with this conversation. But even you take the easier way out and say, click, hey, what's up, my fly family? Yo, so it's like no matter what,
right.
How technology is going to benefit us to at least come to a place and let people absorb or learn or preach, whatever it may be, because that's just what technology is. Prior to that, there was using smoke signals.
Use it as a tool. Yeah, I agree with you. I also see like George Orwell and the three superpowers coming together type of stuff, to where that is the warfare that my children, and I'm only speaking when I'm thinking about my kids, Alex, my daughter, my son being 30, 40 years old. What kind of country are they going to live in? Mm-hmm. Because we're not fighting the school systems the way we're supposed to. I am personally. I fought them so much that my kids aren't even in the school system now. I'm doing it at home because there's nothing else one person can do, at least in my area.
It sucks, right?
It does. It sucks, man. It freaking sucks when everybody else is just, they're just zoned out on their devices and other devices, real life devices, not just saying, screens and stuff, but it's like we're so selfish. Americans are real selfish. They don't want to teach. They don't want to reach. They don't want to help each other. And I think we need to bring that back if it was ever here. I don't know. I know back in the 80s and 90s, we was cool, but.
I mean, that stuff has always been going on. See, people think that now things are just so much worse now. It's just that you can see it now. You live in a 24-hour media cycle, and then you live where information is everywhere. I can pick up my phone and find out about something that happened 10,000 miles away in a matter of 3 seconds.
Yeah.
And before you weren't able to do it. Like Billy said, you have to send a letter, you have to wait for a telegram or somebody. You know, they used to do the tapping thing back in the old days and the cowboy movies and stuff, so you can get news and things like that. It's just that over time things are supposed to progress. God created a creature that wasn't supposed to stay in its same way. He was supposed to be able to learn and think.
Yep.
I believe in God. I'm not an atheist or an agnostic or anything. I believe that there's a God. I just may believe in him a little bit different than most, but I do believe that there's a God. And that's what's supposed to happen. If I'm created from a all-intelligent super whatever that knows everything, and he put a little bit of himself into me, I'm gonna be just like him. Maybe not to the fullest extent, but I'm gonna go learn stuff. I'm gonna go able to progress. I'm gonna go be able to create things. You can't move away from that. That's why some things become contradictory when you talk about them, when you start bringing religion into things, because you're saying we don't want to do this. This is bad. This is not supposed to happen. But if you come from a thing that is all-knowing and all-powerful that made you by blowing his breath into you, you are a part of him. So you're going to have certain characteristics that he has, and you're going to progress. You're not going to stay in one place. Mm-hmm. It's not going to. It's impossible.
Yeah. Well, I'm agree with you guys and disagree with you all at the same time. This is awesome.
That's what makes it interesting. We're not supposed to all have the same opinion.
Because we're we're not robots.
Equilibrium was great, Eddie. I loved it.
Here's an amazing stamp on what I was saying. You know how long it would take us to get a letter from United States to UK? Bang. Just like Diego, why don't you read out?
Hello, Diego.
Oh, what's up, family?
Hey, Diego.
What's up, Diego?
I just came back in it from this night shift. So basically, I was hearing the topic. So I just went to chime in that everyone was spitting some good game, but I also believe two truths can live in one house, as they say.
That's right.
And look, everyone's got a history. We don't know each other personally, but I can tell you this with certain things that I don't open up about. My grandma got killed by the police. And I can tell you specifically, growing up, I've had police harassment. So when you see me deleted certain stuff off my Instagram, that's not because I'm doing anything illegal. That's because getting pulled up by the police in the UK is not something that's a joke. Does it make sense to you, fat guy? It's not something that is it's a thing when you grow up in the inner cities. If you grow up in a normal area, it's okay. Mm-hmm. Now, accountable for your actions is one thing. So, for instance, did I move away from my area? Yes. Mm-hmm. Does it make sense to you, fat guy? Do I get troubled by the police in my new area I live in? No, I don't.
Yeah, I understand.
You see where I'm coming from. So if you are,
I grew up in Stop and Frisk, New York, man.
Yeah, you know already. You know.
The store just for being you and doing nothing. I know about that. I grew up in Stop and Frisk, New York.
Anyway.
David Dinkins and Giuliani and
you know.
It would help you, Diego, if you quit driving on the wrong side of the road, though.
You're going to get my license taken away. They'll be like, I saw this tourist guy driving on the wrong side of the road.
And I saw your question, Diego, and I saw what you said, and this is how I address that, because I have a certain way that I feel about that type of thing. If the police or someone just murders your family member or murders your mother or murders your son or something like that, my stance on that is really, really, really strong.
No.
I don't want to be saying that out in public, because
no.
If you're the police, if you kill my family member, let's say the police for some reason kill my son unjustly for no reason, then that means that man.
Nah, you ain't even got to say it. But I'm just showing you how even when getting into this industry, that's why my family pulled back, because they're more were worried about me. They're like, they don't want no issues. You see where I'm coming from? They don't want no issues. But one thing hanging around Americans, you lot make me know to stand up for something. So I got something in surprise for you. So I'm going to somewhere. I'm gonna be posting some new content. But
Good.
you see where I'm coming? Because when
Good.
you're legal. One thing you lot show me is when you're legal. And if you're not doing nothing you're not supposed to be doing, you ain't got nothing to worry about. So
That's right.
I respect that.
Yeah.
I just had to say that. I just had to get that off my chest.
Yo, it's a whole different culture. And you know what? Just as an example, there's a lot of people that are, kind of envious of the freedoms that we do have, man, over here that we fuck off.
I'm telling you, listen, I'm telling you, because I drove from Alabama to Tennessee, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
You lot treated me good. I have nothing bad to say about America, me personally. Does it make sense to you? I went there, you lot treated me like I was one of your brothers and sisters, and you lot didn't know me from a can of paint.
Yep.
So my impressions of Americans is always going to be good, because even when I wasn't with you lot, the hospitality in both states was, to me, perfect. No one troubled me. I didn't get robbed. Does it make sense to you? Even though so everyone's got their own issues. Does it make sense to you? But I can only go on my personal experience. You know what I mean?
That's right.
And yeah, it was good.
I'm glad I was part of that, man.
Nah, man, listen to me. I love you lot's outdoor sports. I told you, if I don't even need, I could just live outside in a trailer. Get up in the valley somewhere. Like the freedom of you lot outdoor activities is just amazing. Like when I just sat there on that ranch that day, I just looked and thought, wow. I was in the news with that. Wow.
That's what I'm talking about this whole time. It's we got so many freedoms that we underestimate. We just take for granted. Fucking some countries, man, that should be gone in a fucking whisper.
And I want you lot to really understand that, because it's like, for instance, growing up in Jamaica, going back home and that, the farmer's defense is a bit different. Does it make sense to you compared to what I saw in America? And it's good, as I said. I respect it, because at least every citizen in America legally can defend themselves, and I respect that. Obviously, you're gonna have good and bad, ups and downs in any country, but
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Siege, I like what you said, man, young lady, because we need things that's gonna question shit, jog our brains. Just keep us on our toes, and sometimes it's going to be opinionated, sometimes it's going to be factual shit, but these conversations definitely necessary. 100%.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Anyway, I'll go back down to the audience anyway. But
all right, man, I appreciate
Eric,
Billy,
Diego, good to hear you.
Zach,
Diego,
real deal. Yeah, I can see you, real deal. Ghetto.
What's up, Diego?
Nice meeting
that's how I'm
you.
gonna say
Nice
your
for
name.
having me. Bill, I'm gonna message you anyway, off the internet, and then I'll chat to you, chop it up on Insta, innit? All right?
Got you.
All right, thank you. Thanks, guys. Yeah, I'm gonna be in the chat anyway, all right?
Cool.
All right, thanks.
Peace. Yeah, man.
Thank you, TK.
So apart from a nuclear bomb or whatnot, do you think we would really know if we were in World War III? Like, what would give you the impression that we're actually, what would be that thing that just set it off for you? Like, all right, we're in World War III.
I don't know. Because I feel what you're saying. I understand. What is the thing that says, all right, this is it? You can declare war on a nation, in this nation, but at what point is there enough war going on to declare it world war? I feel what you're saying.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm not in the military, and I'm not in politics.
So well, we have thousands of soldiers over there, contrary to over in Ukraine and stuff. As privates,
we have plenty of plenty of soldiers and stuff all over the world. That's what America does. That's
Well,
how
it's
they.
all over the world, but I mean, we're over there under private contractors, so it veers away from they're not part of the military; they're under private contractors.
Uh-huh.
What I'm saying is, we've been in that war for a while, probably from
Yeah,
the gate.
one of the ex, I can't remember his name. One of the ex-black CIA guys that I watch all the time. He went over there and he was fighting. I can't remember his name. I can see his face, but I can't remember his name. He'd been over there. Freaking James Yeager went over there to train the troops before he passed away. He went over there to train them. So I mean, those something like I said, that's above my my grade or whatever. And I don't know, but we got people all over the place. That's why when I hear people talk about other places, I'm like, the United States government got the longest arms and the dirtiest hands there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm more worried about not physical war, but I'm more worried about, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm sure there's better words for it, but for lack of better, I'm more worried about the soul of our country, more, and the people trying to pervert our way of life.
Yeah, you have to explain that to me. What do you mean by that? Because that can be.
You mean like a psychological war?
Psychological. So.
Shit. What?
Tell me why drag queens are going to elementary school and having story time.
Because we let them.
I think that's right. I think that's weird too. I'm not with that. And that's a whole subject that I don't really know much about, the psychology of it or whatever. But I'm not with that. I don't believe that you should try to impose something on my children that is not part of my belief system. Exactly. Whether you believe it or not, it's up to me to teach my child. If I'm teaching him wrong and you want to know something, hopefully he'll learn that later and he'll learn how to do better. But I don't believe that anybody's supposed to be forcing a belief on my child. I still believe that this is America and I can believe what the fuck I want.
Why is Bobby going to school when he's in 8th grade or 6th grade and he's coming home and said, "Mom, the teacher said my name's Susie, so you have to call me Susie now"?
Because that next day, as his father, I'd be up at the school like, who's the fool that told my son this bullshit? I would be right there doing that. And it needs to be 100 of me, not just one.
Exactly.
In this country, that's why freedom is a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
Like you could be the most racist piece of shit guy and talk about a person of color or a black person, but you want to know something? As a true American, I have to be willing to fight for the fact for you to say that stupid shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's what being a true patriot is. The fact that I can stand up and fight for you to talk your bullshit, because at some point you might come and try to stop me from talking mine.
Hey, you know what? It's interesting.
That stuff shouldn't be imposed on people's children. You have to go tell them, listen, don't teach my child that bullshit.
Sometimes, even within a family, there's a double-edged sword to it, because you want a certain thing or a certain way of life or whatever, but if your children come home and it's different than what you expect or taught as a parent at a certain time in life, you got to start accepting some shit, because just like technology, the world is exposing children to different ideals that we can't always protect them from, and whatever is going to be liked or enjoyed by them is hard to fucking combat. It's a double-edged sword, like you said, man. That shit is...
all you can do is the best that you can to teach your children what it is that you think is the right way to move, what it is that you think is the most healthy way for them to be productive and be a good citizen and be a good person. One day, if my son comes home, and I don't want this to happen, and tells me that he's not Zach anymore and he's something else, I got to deal with that. And I got to see how I'm going to deal with it. But you want to know something? Even if his mind is messed up, and that's what I think there's some sort of imbalance there. I don't care what the medical books and say, whatever, because there was a time when they said that was an issue. And then all of a sudden that changed. It's up to me to deal with that internally, because he's still the same little boy that it took me hard as hell to get him into this world. And I still got to love him anyway.
Absolutely.
Because he minds. That's what I got to do, because he still came from me. That's why those things and those issues can get really tricky. But my thing that I don't like is, because I tell you I don't agree with something, doesn't mean I'm homophobic, or doesn't mean I'm transphobic. It doesn't mean none of that. It's because I grew up a certain way. I still believe that there are men and women. If you got a penis and balls, you're a man. If you got a vagina and ovaries, you're a woman. that's just that doesn't change. And it's not because somebody just decided, oh, we just decided to call them a boy or call them a girl. It's you males and females. It's science. It ain't got nothing to do with anything else. It's science.
Exactly.
I'd be a dinosaur if I could.
Mad at me, I'm not against you. I'm for you living your life. If that's the way you want to live your life, and it's not affecting me, and it's not harming me or harming somebody else, or you harming yourself, live your life that way. But don't tell me that I just gotta accept it. Like, oh, you just have to. No, that's bullshit. I don't have to accept anything. I like eating peanut butter on hamburgers. Most people don't.
That's right.
Everybody just gotta accept it because I say I think it's good. It's no different.
This motherfucking right. Shit is fucking wonderfully good.
It's fire.
People are scared. Everybody's too sensitive to say what it is that you think because you're gonna get canceled. You're gonna this. All that stuff is bullshit. If I have to put down what it is that I believe and I think just to make you feel uncomfortable, something is wrong with me. It ain't something wrong with you because you're gonna be who you're gonna be. And that's how she's right. Exactly. I identify as a 6'2", 230-pound muscular dude. That's who I am. I ain't no fat guy. That's who I am. No, hell no. I'm a fat guy with guns. That's who I am. I'm big as that. That's who I am. Just because I say I'm something else doesn't mean that. But in today's society, it's easier to just go with that and be super sensitive and tell a person, nah, that's not what it is. Or let's try to figure out what the issue is. It's too much. It's too much of that. Let's just move along and get along. Let's be all together. Too much group thinking, and I gotta be the way the group is. And that's why the guys who become leaders and the guys who become real successful are the guys who think outside of their box and they move the way that they feel is the best way to move and become successful because they're not following the crowd. Because the crowd doing some bullshit. They always used to say when I was a kid. So if everybody else jumped off the bridge, you gonna jump off with them? Now the answer is probably yes. Because that's the way that they teach people.
Yeah,
it's bullshit the way that we're taking things, and you can't be yourself. You gotta follow what everybody else is. If somebody likes something, you gotta like it. Nah, fuck that. I'm from the old America. Well, I do what it is that I want to do as long as I'm not hurting anybody.
Yeah.
Now, if we fast forward it though, Zach, fast forward this exact topic 30 years, 20 years to where our kids, little Zach, Alex, my kids, are in our position and our age, what kind of country does that look like? Because we're not standing up to those types of situations because you're correct, 100% correct in what you're saying, but we're not able to do anything about it.
Let me ask you a question.
There are people doing things about it, but if it's your child, you're going to support your child. So there are people that are against it, and there's people that are like, that's my child. I'm gonna protect my child. I'm gonna go where my child's at. So you have both sides of it. It's just it's just gonna be all the same. It's just gonna be different. Just like when it was.
Let me throw this in there.
Different from now.
When the thoughts of in some countries that women are not to be taught, educated, they can't show their face, they can't teach and read and all that stuff. That's fucking nuts, right? In your opinion? Oh, well, maybe. In my opinion, it's fucking nuts.
In my opinion too.
It is
especially
nuts.
If Miss Ghetto's listening right now. So that's my opinion.
Extra nuts. But here's the crazy part. Somebody thought that it would be revolutionary that these women learn how to read, they teach, they dress how they want to dress, and they cook and they work a job how they want to fucking live life.
Right.
Same exact instance. And you just fucking learn how it affects your family and accept the things that you can accept as a father or a cousin or uncle or whatever the fuck. But they're all radical thoughts, super way beyond crazy radical thoughts, especially in comparison to a century, 2 centuries ago, 3, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Shit, man, it's like I said, it's like technology. You just got to be progressive with it and understand that you can't always maintain the same stagnant lifestyle.
Right. But those ideologies are forming our nation for our kids' future. I mean, that type of thinking, I mean, there's only small groups of us. I mean, I agree. We had this conversation last night on Big Dre's. There's probably 95% of us that completely disagree with it. I mean, even the homosexual community disagrees with the LGBT and all that. And like Nola said, like, I mean, they're pushing something, right? Whoever they is, whatever. I don't know. You know, just the way just the way our worlds work. And I know it's in almost every school. The laws in almost every single state are reflecting these radical ideas. That's the problem. In California, just alone, 14 years old, man. There's a 10-year law in 14 years old in California for sodomy. You could be a 14-year-old boy. As long as you give a 24-year-old man permission, he's able to do what he wants with you. They have laws in place, and that just passes just this last summer. My point is,
stuff like that is, I mean,
we're letting it shape our nation away from how we grew up.
See, but this
here's the thing. That's how you grew up.
This is what happens, because if a 24-year-old man goes to my 14-year-old son, I don't care if he says, well, your son gave me permission, that motherfucker is gone.
He's gone. Oh yeah,
and that is incumbent upon society to not let that happen. It doesn't matter what a law is put out there or whatever. That is up to society to decide that that's not going to be. It's like you got the man boy love association and stuff like that. All that bullshit. When that stuff starts rearing its head up, men and women have to stand up and say, nah, fuck that. It's never going to be natural. That's never a natural process for some grown-ass man, or even some grown-ass woman to be going in and ruining some little boy's life or some little girl's life. It's up to society to make that happen. And if enough of them pay for it, then those laws won't mean anything, because it becomes, I believe in laws, but I believe in justice. I believe in street justice too. There's a lot of different types of justice.
Right. Me personally, OJ, I think it has everything to do with World War III, because I think it's a psychological war.
But this is the big picture that you're taking too big of a bite of the apple. If you teach your son your values, I teach my son my values, our daughters. Billy teaches his family his values. So does Zach. This is how you change society. You have to, you know what I'm saying? That's how you change society. You're just not going to do it overnight. You can't.
Unless there's a larger entity controlling it.
Yeah,
no, always going to be. That's the thing. That larger entity that you're talking about, when you're in a certain intimate space and you're pouring something into somebody, you can combat that. But you got to be willing to be in that intimate space and pour it into them. It's like I told you, to this day, there's stuff that my father and my mother used to say to me when I get ready to do certain things. I still hear their voice in my head. Not like I'm going crazy. I literally hear them saying, hey, you shouldn't do this. Or, hey, I told you you're not supposed to do that. But it's because you put that impression on someone. You put that inside of them. You talk to them. You do it. You can do it. I don't believe that there's some giant entity that can stop that, because it's in those intimate spaces where shit counts.
I agree. Yeah,
so,
I agree.
Yeah, I want to get.
I never had that, but I do agree.
I want to get back. Can I say this real quick, and then I'll shut up? So I want to get a little bit back into the spiritual part and back into the Word.
Okay.
And Zach touched on this a little bit earlier.
Go ahead.
Zach. So in the Bible, in the Word, it says that God gave us the earth. We have, what's the word I'm looking for, Zach? Dominion over the earth.
That's the word.
We have dominion over the earth. Now you have Satan, you have evil trying to recruit man so he can't grow his power. Now you can take that and you can put that in any identity, them, they, who, whatever you want. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, I'm following.
You know what I'm saying? And so as us, we have to teach. We have to know what we stand for. We have to know what we believe in, and we have to teach those values to our children, and they will teach those values to their children. Our child have to grow up, and they have to decide what they believe in. And as long as we did the best we could, as long as we were there to teach them, to guide them, that's all we can do. Right. And that's how you control evil. That's how you can control them, those people. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It starts by us. It starts from the home. It starts with what we believe in, our core beliefs. We have to teach that to our children, and that's the best we can do.
Yeah. That's like Jeffrey said, you plant the seed, one day it'll sprout. It's always there. Those are universal laws, man. The universal laws are undefeated. And you
Hundred
have to
percent.
look at things that way. One man plant, another man water, another man reap the harvest. That is going to always be like that through time and eternity. That ain't going to change until everything stops and everything is gone, if that ever happens. And that's all you can do is keep putting that and instilling those things into your children, your grandchildren, if you have the opportunity. And hopefully that stuff will take root and that they'll move and live a certain type of way. That's all you can do. But I don't believe in the giant grand whatever that can just stop everything. No, what makes the grand thing powerful is because we don't do something to combat it in those intimate spaces where you can be most effective and shape your child's mind or shape your grandchildren's minds.
Mm-hmm. And if evil's in your life, it's because you allowed it to be in your life. You have the power to get rid of that.
Agreed. Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah. What up, MHP?
Ben shooting.
My bad.
I think people don't realize that we are more powerful than what we give ourselves credit for.
Exactly.
We control what's good in our lives and we control what's evil in our life. And if we allow evil in our lives, then we can't complain about that evil.
Right.
We allowed it in there. We have the power to get rid of it.
I think most people are scared of how powerful they could be. I believe that.
Yeah.
Right.
You start moving and you start doing things and start moving a certain way and start seeing things popping and things just start shifting and going the way they're supposed to. It scares you because you're like, wait a minute, this ain't so. Why is this working out so well?
What bad's gonna happen?
You start moving in that power and you start embracing that. Damn, you feel really good.
And sometimes the power itself doesn't show around you. It doesn't show things and success and all that. Mm-hmm. The power itself, man, it gives you a feeling in you. Mm-hmm. And those other successes, sometimes those could be you accepting evils. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So you have to have the power to understand that you don't need what the world tells you you need. You have to have like a universal love, man. And I'm not saying everybody has to, but that's my thing. You know what I'm saying? Enjoyment in life, family in life, and just a universal love and help for the world.
And all that stuff sounds like cliche, but it's true. Those are things that when you move through life being a good person, yeah, you're gonna run into some people that are assholes, but that's because being a good person doesn't always mean that you're meek and mild and everything. Being a good person can mean that sometimes I gotta, put foot to ass if I need to, because that's right. If I'm a righteous person, I believe that a righteous person should be as loud, if not louder than an unrighteous person.
Yeah,
in your righteousness, you're supposed to be bold and ready to beat shit down if you need to. That's why and that's one of the problems that goes on in America. If you believe that your cause is righteous, then when another comes up that you know is not, you're supposed to be not meek and mild. Oh, we're gonna pray about it. Fuck all that praying shit. The word says that the kingdom of God suffers violence, and what do the violence do? They take that shit by force.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, oh, it's just okay. No. You fuck shit up. That's what it means in layman's terms. You don't whatever.
Yeah.
But that's where
had the power to destroy
evil. Let me explain my perspective real quick, please. The reason I ask these questions, I do feel like United States, America, is on their way to the train cars like the Jews were back in, we all know when, right? I feel like we are on the precipice of that and we aren't doing anything about it. And my kids are going to grow up blaming me because I didn't do something to prevent them from whatever life they have ahead of them, right? It's not about an entity. It's not about, what's that, Zach?
Then do something. Do what you feel that you need to do. Do something. You just one man. You one man, Ghetto.
Yeah. Do it. And the only person you got to convince is your son.
Right. But to make them
right. And that's why I am trying to do. But that's where the questions come from. It's not that I don't believe any of what you guys are saying. I definitely believe what y'all are saying. But that's where my questions are coming.
I was going to say this earlier, Zach. There's things in the world that are not to be fixed, and I'm going to compare this. A lot of times we'll have conversations that's kind of, what do Black folks need to progress in the world? And we're like, oh, we need to do this. There's no we on certain issues because there's no way to funnel everybody into a solution. Everybody has to start at that home. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to religion, when it comes to world order, when it comes to race, all that shit, there's no we, there's the me to make the tree. That sounded punkish, right?
No, because that
Now, that
makes sense.
sounded good.
It
Actually.
makes sense.
A tree gets grown because there was a seed that was planted. That one person.
Exactly.
That's why you have to always look at the long game. If I teach mine the right way, God willing, he moves out and he keeps going and he teaches his the right way. And then he got friends who look at him because I want him to be a leader. I want him to be a critical thinker. And as Americans, we're attracted to power. So if I can cause him to be that dynamic and that charismatic, to where they'll listen to him and the things that are good, even because he's gonna find things that I put in him, he's gonna realize, you know, what Dad said was some bullshit, and I need to go learn how to do this the right way. But if you keep moving that way and he becomes like that, you start one, you plant the seed, and then he keeps going, and then he plants more seeds. It's a thing that takes time. It's not
Generations,
right
man.
away, and that's why when I understand what Billy says when we are the me, but we really are the we. The we starts from that one seed. That's how a garden starts. You start one seed, and then if you keep taking seeds from it, you can keep growing and growing and growing. That's just like I said, those universal laws, man. You can't beat them. You just can't.
Evil exists when good men decide to do nothing.
And that's true
That's
too.
right. And existence is a word. Real deal. God damn it. Hey, listen, this was dope. I'm gonna take this last little 5 minutes to just say what's up to a couple people that I might have missed. Same OG, I seen you in here, but every time I jumped in, Real Deal was cutting me off. So sorry. The gun guy was popping. I hopefully that I got everybody else when they came in. I appreciate everybody for coming out. Tomorrow night, 8:00 Eastern, Fat Guy with Guns is doing his 3,000 supporter giveaway with some things that he let me help pick out. So y'all got to make sure y'all there. You ain't got to do nothing, watch no comment.
Listen, hold on. You and Zach have been keeping secrets. I didn't know about this either.
I mean, I put the thumbnail up. I put it up. It's out there.
Some supporter you are, Erica.
He's like,
so
Billy.
Anyway, man, all you got to do is be there. And he's got some dope things that he's going to give away. And
just show up. I still got to figure out how I'm going to do it.
Yep.
Just show up. We'll get it done. And it's going to be coming from Amazon too, so you ain't got to wait 4 weeks. I'm going to take care of it. Right there.
Yeah. As long as I win, it's all good.
Mess around, get it the next day.
Right.
But, so yeah, man, we got that going on. On this channel, everybody's familiar with the meetup. Hopefully, more than likely, and we Joseph, that tomorrow night, that's going to be at 8:00.
Yeah, 8:00. 8:00 tomorrow night. 8:00.
Yep.
8:00 Eastern.
Hopefully, everybody's familiar with the meetup, and everybody wants to come out and hang out. Secretively, right. One of our loyal family community members is going to be donating 2 tickets to the 2023 meetup, and he's going to do it via My Fly Family. So make sure that you tune in, keep in tune with us, and I will let you know when that's going to happen. The release date for the tickets is toward the end of the month on the 28th. So keep an eye out for when we decide to get that away. That's going to be hella dope. And
hey, Billy,
go ahead, Ghetto.
I got just a quick question about the tickets. What do the tickets actually get you? Like, what do you get for the tickets?
Okay, so with the tickets, you'll get the range day, you'll get the meet and greet, you'll get the award ceremony, you'll get food at both events, the range day and the award ceremony, and you'll get a secondary range day. So there's kind of like a early bird range day for people who get any day early, and then you got the regular, beautiful chaos.
Control chaos.
Yeah, control.
Control the chaos.
Really was the only chaos that happened at the last one.
All right. So the hotel, the sleeping arrangements, the food for the whole time you're there, all the other stuff, that's got nothing to do with the tickets and stuff, right?
No. That's
Yeah.
that's going
That's
you.
all on you.
Hotels
Okay.
in your pocket.
Yeah. And
I'm
the
just
hotel
making sure.
is super inexpensive.
Yep.
So you'll be satisfied with the hotel cost
Thank you,
and
Tim.
the amenities that are nearby,
Mhm.
places to sit down, eat, whatever you want to do.
Everything's walking distance from the hotel as well.
If you have the ability to be able to be there, you should be there. And I'm gonna say it's because the feeling that you get from that you really can't describe. And if you're not there, you won't understand it. When you come and you be there one time and you're there one time, you'll understand exactly what it is. It is like going and meeting 200 people that it's like you've known forever. It's the most comfortable feeling ever. It just is. I just gotta tell you. And if you can be there, get there.
That's
Siege, I
motherfucking
got
right.
you. Siege, don't worry about it. I will be there. I will be there to get you.
Yeah, because I'll be there Thursday too, Siege.
Yep.
Thursday
Yeah.
Thursday is Alex's birthday also.
Oh
it is.
yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna ball out till we fall out, y'all. Yo, till then, man, I appreciate
Hold on.
everybody.
Hold on. Please, also, I'm talking about, can I plug Urban Garden? She on Thursdays. You doing plugs. Can I do Urban Garden? Urban Garden is Saturdays at 8 a.m. Koi also is on Saturdays. Is Koi
Thanks,
Saturday or
STD.
Sundays?
I think it's Saturday. Saturday morning.
Saturday. At what? At 11?
8.
Koi, plug yourself. Urban, plug yourself.
Hey, it's different. Plug yourself.
Y'all gotta be on the lookout because it's gonna be $2 hot tub and Koi be doing their thing. I'm waiting for that live.
Hope y'all ready for that.
Yeah,
Oh, that'd be good.
We don't know.
You guys gonna be Mondays or no? Sorry, Billy.
Yeah, I think we're gonna discuss it. I'm sorry. Well, I will have something up very, very soon.
Hey, Koi is nowhere. Koi, I watched you, man, on the 411 Sports Show.
Yeah, I thought you was on the 411, Koi.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Koi. I'm giving out misinformation. Sorry.
I'm gonna throw this out there. It feels natural for you guys to be on a Monday.
Boom. Bang.
But here's the thing, real deal. It's because of homeschooling. Mondays is our long school day. So, and then I don't get done with it till like 5:36. Then dinner. Then we gotta rush to eat. And then we're on.
Well, Mondays Billy cooks.
Cook when? Cook when?
It was a wonderful show. Yeah, I appreciate everybody just having to do. We had a good time.
Urban posted Urban said her show is Saturday morning at 8:45 a.m. Eastern time.
8:45.
Yeah, she got a good show. I like her show.
Pop-ups during the week. So put on your notifications. Go subscribe, put your notifications on.
Yeah, man.
You guys got a Pizza Hut around, don't you?
Around who? Yeah. We got a Pizza Hut, baby.
Monday night.
Yeah.
We having frozen pizza.
Right.
Look at he's trying to organize y'all's whole Monday so he could watch you on Monday.
Right.
Real deal. We'll keep on Monday
A lot of
because
people
you've been
rooting for
trying
you.
real hard. We'll keep it Monday just for you,
right.
real deal.
That's the word?
I appreciate
That's
it.
the word.
Sweet
Real
pie.
deal is good.
That's the
Show
word.
the love.
That is the word.
Word
real
is
deal.
bomb.
Just because of
All
real
right.
deal.
That works. All right, y'all. Tune in next Monday, 8 o'clock Eastern. Have another dope ass conversation, dope discussion. We appreciate y'all. We'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.
Peace, family.
Later, y'all.
Later.
Peace.
Later.